The weight of dozens of stuffed animals nearly toppled me as I frantically tried to arrange them on the carnival booth shelf. "If my daughter sees us here, it's over," my boss whispered, terrified to me, the single dad who never expected to be hiding behind a cotton candy stand with the CEO of our company. I froze, scanning the crowded fairgrounds. This moment, this ridiculous, unexpected alliance, would change everything for both of us. Hey everyone! If you're enjoying this story so far, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more emotional and heartfelt stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Your support means the world. Now, back to our tale. 3 months earlier, I was just Marcus Reeves, struggling single father to my incredible 12-year-old daughter Lily, and mid-level marketing manager at Everest Solutions. My life was a careful balancing act between parent-teacher conferences, late-night proposal writing, and trying to be both mom and dad to a girl entering her difficult pre-teen years. Victoria Chambers was nothing but a name on company-wide emails. As CEO, she existed in another stratosphere. Her corner office might as well have been on another planet from my cramped cubicle. The whispers about her were consistent, brilliant but cold, demanding perfection from everyone, herself included. The Ice Queen, they called her. I had seen her exactly twice in my 4 years with the company, both times from across a crowded room during quarterly meetings. That all changed on a rainy Tuesday in April when I received a terse email summoning me to the executive floor. "Mr. Reeves, your presentation on the Westfield account shows promise. 2 p.m. my office, V. Chambers." My hands trembled as I adjusted my tie in the elevator mirror. Being noticed by Victoria Chambers was usually the prelude to either a surprising promotion or an unceremonious firing. The odds favored the latter. Her office was minimalist and immaculate, with floor-to-ceiling windows offering a panoramic view of the city. Victoria herself was younger than I had expected, maybe early 40s, with sharp features and calculating eyes that seemed to dismantle and analyze everything they landed on. "Your Westfield strategy. Explain the community integration component," she said without preamble, gesturing to the chair across from her desk. For 15 minutes, I walked her through my thinking, my voice growing steadier as I spoke about something I genuinely believed in: how corporations could meaningfully connect with local communities beyond superficial PR stunts. "Interesting," was all she said when I finished. "Then, do you have children, Mr. Reeves?" The abrupt change in subject caught me off guard. "A daughter, Lily. She's 12. Something flickered across her face. "And her mother. She's not in the picture. It's been just Lily and me since she was 4. Victoria nodded, studying a framed photograph on her desk I couldn't see. "My daughter, Zoe, is 14. She thinks I'm a monster." I didn't know how to respond to this unexpected confidence. Victoria Chambers had a daughter, and was sharing personal information with me. "Teenagers," I offered weakly. "They all think we're monsters sometimes." Her smile was small but genuine. "Zoe thinks so all the time, especially since the divorce." She turned the photo around. A younger Victoria with a smiling girl who had her eyes but softer features. "I want you to lead the Westfield project, Mr. Reeves. But I also have a more personal request." That meeting was the beginning of the strangest professional relationship of my life. Officially, I was promoted to lead the Westfield account, our company's biggest client. Unofficially, I became Victoria Chambers' reluctant advisor on teenage girls. "She won't talk to me," Victoria confided during our third working dinner. "She leaves the room when I enter. Last week, she told her father I wouldn't understand normal human emotions if they came with an instruction manual." I couldn't help but chuckle. "That's pretty creative." "It's accurate," she admitted, surprising me. "I've always been better with spreadsheets than people. But I'm trying, Marcus. God, I'm trying." It was the first time she'd used my first name. Our working relationship evolved as spring turned to summer. The Westfield project thrived under our collaboration. Victoria wasn't the ice queen in our meetings. She was brilliant, yes, but also thoughtful and surprisingly funny when she let her guard down. The rest of the office watched in bewilderment as I regularly disappeared into the executive suite and emerged unscathed, sometimes even smiling. Meanwhile, my after-hours consultations on teenage daughter diplomacy continued. I suggested small ways Victoria could connect with Zoe, asking about her interests without judgment, creating ritual one time, finding common ground however small. She likes art, Victoria told me one evening as we reviewed quarterly projections. I know nothing about art. Then learn, I suggested. Not to become an expert, just enough to ask intelligent questions. 2 weeks later, Victoria canceled our meeting, texting me instead. Took Zoe to the modern art exhibit. She explained color theory to me for an hour. Small victory. Thank you. I found myself smiling at my phone like an idiot. Lily, of course, was curious about my sudden career advancement and late meetings with the CEO. Is she really as scary as everyone says? Lily asked one night over pizza. She's complicated, I answered honestly. Brilliant at business, but struggling with some of the same things I do. Lily looked skeptical. Like what? Like how to be a good parent when you're doing it alone. This revelation that the intimidating CEO was human, a single mother, no less, fascinated Lily. She began asking about men's chambers, regularly offering surprisingly insightful suggestions. You should tell her that when Zoe says fine, with that tone, it actually means I'm upset but I don't want to talk about it yet. That's girl code, Dad. I dutifully passed along these teenage girl translations, earning rare but treasured smiles from Victoria. By August, something had shifted. Our professional relationship remained impeccable, but there was an undeniable personal connection forming. Nothing inappropriate. We were both too professional for that, but a genuine friendship built on mutual respect and the shared experience of raising daughters alone. Then came the crisis. Zoe had been caught skipping school with friends. Victoria was distraught when she called me. She won't talk to me, just locks herself in her room. I don't know if I should ground her forever, or try to understand why she did it. I keep thinking about what you would do. Want me to come over? Maybe I can help mediate. The silence on the line stretched long enough that I thought the call had dropped. That would cross a line. She finally said, her voice professional again. Right, of course. I tried to mask my disappointment. Just remember, ask questions first, consequences second. Try to understand before reacting. Later that night, I received a text. You were right. She's struggling with anxiety at school. Never would have known if I'd led with punishment. Thank you, Marcus. The next morning, Victoria called me into her office. I've been thinking, she said, standing by the window instead of behind her desk. Zoo's school has a father-daughter dance next month. She usually goes with her dad, but he's going to be in Europe. She'll be devastated to miss it. I'm sorry. That's tough. Victoria turned, her expression uncharacteristically uncertain. There's a single parents' support picnic at Harrington Park this Saturday. Zoe's therapist suggested we attend. It would be easier if... That is, I wondered if you and Lily might like to join us. I stood there, stunned. Was Victoria Chambers asking for moral support? A's friends, she added quickly. And it might be good for the girls to meet. I'd like that, I said, surprising myself with how much I meant it. Lily would too. When I told Lily about the picnic, her eyes went wide. Wait, we're hanging out with your boss. Like outside of work. Like as friends. Yes to all of that. And her daughter is coming too. Lily gave me a look that only pre-teen girls have mastered, part suspicion, part amusement, part horrified embarrassment. Dad, is this like a date? No, I said too quickly. We're just friends. Work friends who happen to both be single parents. Lily said, unconvinced. Can I wear my new shorts? Saturday arrived with perfect late summer weather. Victoria and Zoe were already at the park when we arrived, setting up a picnic blanket under a sprawling oak tree. I almost didn't recognize Victoria in jeans and a casual blouse, her usually perfect hair pulled back in a simple ponytail. The girls were awkward at first, sizing each other up with that specific teenage wariness. But when Zoe complimented Lily's shorts, and they discovered a mutual obsession with the same book series, the ice broke. Within an hour, they were huddled together, showing each other something on Zoe's phone and laughing. This is going better than I expected, Victoria said, watching them with a soft expression I'd never seen at the office. Kids are often better at this than adults, I replied. The support group activities were surprisingly fun: team games, a casual discussion circle, and a potluck lunch. Victoria gradually relaxed, even joining in the parents' three-legged race paired with me. We stumbled and laughed our way to last place, falling onto the grass in a graceless heap. I haven't laughed like this in years, she admitted, making no move to get up. It suits you, I said without thinking. The laughing, I mean. As the afternoon wound down, Zoe asked if Lily could come over sometime to see her art studio. The girls exchanged contact information while Victoria and I exchanged glances, part wonder, part relief. Would you like to get coffee sometime? Victoria asked as we packed up. Not about work, not about parenting advice, just coffee. I'd like that very much, I said. That coffee led to lunch, which led to more weekend outings with the girls, who had become fast friends despite their age difference. By October, Victoria and I had developed a friendship that increasingly felt like it might become something more. Which brings us back to the carnival, where Victoria and I were hiding behind a cotton candy stand, surrounded by ridiculous stuffed animals I'd won trying to impress her at the ring toss. The annual autumn festival was in full swing, and we'd brought the girls, who had immediately spotted friends and run off together, leaving Victoria and me to wander the fairgrounds. For the first time, we were alone together in public, away from both work and the context of a parenting event. I can't remember the last time I was at a carnival, Victoria admitted as we strolled past game booths and food stalls. Her fingers occasionally brushed against mine, sending ridiculous jolts through my body like I was a teenager again. Really? I bring Lily every year. It's tradition. Zoe usually comes with her father. He's the fun one. I stopped walking. That's not true. Zoe talks about your art museum trips all the time to Lily. She loved that pottery class you took together. Victoria looked genuinely surprised. She told you about that? Well, she told Lily, who told me. The point is, you're doing great with her. She smiled that rare, unguarded smile that made her look years younger. Thanks to your coaching. No, thanks to you trying so hard. Kids notice that stuff, even when they pretend not to. We continued walking, closer now, our hands occasionally touching with more purpose. At the ring toss booth, I made a show of rolling up my sleeves. I'll have you know I was ring toss champion of my college dorm, I boasted. Victoria laughed. This I have to see. $20 later, I had managed to win a small purple elephant. Victoria was doubled over with laughter at my increasingly desperate attempts. Wait, I almost had it that time! One more try? I insisted, handing over another $5. Marcus, it's rigged. The corporate executive in me is horrified at how much money you're wasting. It's not about the money, I said with mock seriousness. It's about the principle. Somehow, against all odds, I managed to land the last ring, earning the grand prize, an enormous stuffed panda almost as big as Lily. Ha! See! Never doubt the ring toss champion! I exclaimed, struggling to hold the massive panda, while Victoria continued to laugh. You realize the girls will die of embarrassment if they see us carrying that monstrosity around. Worth it, I declared. This is going on my desk at work. We continued our carnival adventure, adding to our stuffed animal collection at each game. Victoria proved to be surprisingly good at the balloon dart throw, winning me a ridiculous neon green frog. My hidden talent, she said with a wink. We were laughing, surrounded by our stuffed animal winnings, when Victoria suddenly froze mid-sentence. Oh no, Zoe's here with her friends. Quick, behind there. She pulled me behind the cotton candy stand, her eyes wide with panic. F, my daughter sees us here. It's over. My boss whispered, terrified to me, the single dad who never expected to be in this situation. What do you mean, it's over? I asked, confused by her panic. Victoria peeked around the stand, tracking Zoe's movement through the crowd. If she sees us together like this, looking like whatever we look like, she'll know. Know what exactly? Victoria turned to me, vulnerability plain on her face. That I like you. That this isn't just friendship or work or parenting alliance. That I haven't felt this way about anyone since before Zoe was born. My heart hammered in my chest. And that would be bad because Zoe is finally starting to trust me again. What if she thinks I'm replacing her father? What if this changes things between us just when they're getting better? What if, I cut her off gently, what if she's happy to see you happy? Victoria looked skeptical. You don't know teenage girls. Actually, I've been consulting with an expert on teenage girls recently. I teased. And she taught me that they're perceptive, compassionate, and a lot stronger than we give them credit for. Victoria's expression softened. She sounds wise, this expert. The wisest. Also the most beautiful woman I've ever hidden behind a cotton candy stand with. Just as Victoria opened her mouth to respond, we heard Lily's voice. Dad, are you seriously hiding? We turned to see Lily and Zoe standing there, arms crossed, wearing identical expressions of teenage exasperation. We are not hiding, I said with as much dignity as a man clutching a giant panda can muster. We are strategically positioned. Zoe looked at her mother, then at me, then at the collection of stuffed animals. Her expression was unreadable. Victoria straightened, her CEO demeanor attempting to reassert itself despite her casual clothes and the green frog in her hands. Zoe, I can explain. Are you two on a date? Zoe interrupted. Victoria and I exchanged glances. Would that be okay if we were? Victoria asked carefully. The girls looked at each other, and some silent communication passed between them. We've been waiting for you guys to figure it out for like 2 months, Lily said with an eye roll. It was getting painful to watch. So painful, Zoe agreed. Mom comes home from work smiling when she's been meeting with you. It's weird. And Dad keeps finding excuses to mention Amish Chambers in every conversation, Lily added. Plus, you're both always checking your phones and then trying to hide your goofy smiles. I felt my face grow hot. Was I really that transparent? So you'd be okay with this, with us spending time together, not as work colleagues or for parenting support, but just us? Victoria asked, looking more vulnerable than I'd ever seen her. Zoe stepped forward and took the stuffed frog from her mother's hands, examining it. Did you win this? Victoria nodded. It's hideous, Zoe said, but she was smiling. I'm keeping it, though. She looked between Victoria and me, her expression softening. Mom, you deserve to be happy too. And Marcus is pretty cool, for an old person. Hey, I protested. Lily sidled up next to me. So does this mean we get to hang out more? Because Zoe promised to teach me how to paint, and their house has a pool. I laughed, pulling her into a one-armed hug while still balancing the panda. That's what you're concerned about. Pool access. Priorities, Dad. The four of us stood there amid the carnival chaos, surrounded by ridiculous stuffed animals, at the beginning of something new and unexpected. Victoria's hand found mine, and she gave it a gentle squeeze. "Not quite how I planned to have this conversation," she murmured. "Nothing about us has been according to plan," I replied. "That's what makes it interesting." Over the next year, our unconventional family slowly found its rhythm. There were adjustments and awkward moments, of course. The first time Victoria stayed for breakfast, Zoe spent the entire meal giving me suspicious looks over her cereal. When I brought Victoria to Lily's school play, my daughter alternated between pride and mortification. The office was another challenge entirely. We kept things professional at work, but rumors inevitably spread. Victoria addressed them with characteristic directness at a company meeting. "Yes, Mr. Reeves and I are seeing each other." No, it did not influence his promotion, which happened before our personal relationship began. "Yes, we have established appropriate professional boundaries." No, it is not appropriate to discuss our personal lives at work. "Any questions? Good. Let's move on to quarterly projections." There were family milestones. Zoe's art showing at the community center, where Victoria beamed with genuine pride. Lily's soccer championship, where both girls painted their faces in team colors, and Victoria cheered louder than anyone. The first holiday we spent together, awkward and wonderful in equal measure. The father-daughter dance that had first prompted Victoria to reach out became a yearly tradition, with both girls and both of us. Victoria and I would share one dance together, while the girls pretended to be embarrassed, but snapped pictures when they thought we weren't looking. And yes, there were hard times too. Zoe went through a period of testing boundaries, suddenly concerned that her mother was too distracted by our relationship. Lily and I had our first serious argument about whether Victoria was trying to replace her mother. "She's not my mom and never will be," Lily had shouted during one particularly difficult evening. "She's not trying to be," I'd answered calmly. "No one could replace your mom. Victoria is just Victoria. Someone who cares about you because you're important to me and because you're you." It took time, patience, and more than a few difficult conversations, but we found our way forward. Not as a perfect blended family from a TV movie, but as four imperfect people trying our best to care for each other. 2 years after that day at the carnival, I found myself back at the same ring toss booth, this time with a small velvet box in my pocket and both girls as my co-conspirators. "She's going to say yes, right?" I asked nervously as we waited for Victoria to return from the restroom. Zoe, now 16 and growing more like her mother in confidence every day, rolled her eyes.